Sarah is a mentor in the new CDL Toronto's Matter stream, which is our stream focused on advanced materials. She is a partner for Pangea Ventures and has been mentoring advanced materials startups, both in her capacity at CDL. 20 investments in advanced materials companies, with 11 in the last 4 years, totaling over $35 million. Sarah brings a decade of VC and company building experience to her team and to the CDL room. She has sort of deep expertise in building entrepreneurial teams, in scaling early stage ventures, and of course in venture financing. She's an active mentor in her local BC ecosystem. She holds a BSc from Dalhousie University and an MBA from the Schulich School of Business. In the Matter room this past year, Sarah's been a trusted mentor and advisor to our companies. She's leaned into her VC experience. She's opened up her wide network of both investors, advisors, and of course, enterprise to the collection of companies that she's met. She's given generous introductions and brought sort of a very real world and authentic advising style to the companies she's worked with. So Sarah, thanks for being here. Over to you.
Great, Mara. Thank you so much for the very kind and generous introduction. Good morning from the West Coast. I have the very distinct pleasure as a new member of the CDL community to also introduce the new CDL Matter stream to all of you. So CDL Matter, as some of you may know, is a dedicated stream for entrepreneurs that are building their businesses around material science breakthroughs. Many of these companies are based on years and sometimes decades of fundamental research in academia and have or are developing extensive patent portfolios. Before we have the opportunity to hear from some of the ventures in a little bit, I think it's important that we take a step back and answer the fundamental question: what is material science? Why does it have its own dedicated stream with CDL? And why is this important today? Well, material science is one of these truly interdisciplinary fields that brings together chemistry, biology, physics, and engineering. If you're building a business today that's not rooted in software, e-commerce, pure hardware, or pharmaceuticals, and even then there's a bit of a debate, chances are there's some material science involved. And looking at the profile of the Matter stream companies in this year's cohort, it's apparent that many of these companies could also fit within the climate stream, energy stream, oceans, or supply chain. And so why do we have a dedicated Matter stream? I really like to think of material science as a tool that underpins and will enable many of the significant breakthroughs and commercially viable solutions to big global challenges. Like AI and machine learning, perhaps a decade ago, material science might be seen as a powerful yet esoteric tool that's maybe not widely understood. Also, scaling a venture that's rooted in new scientific innovation has its own unique challenges. Many of the CDL Matter ventures are working with platform technologies, which means they can enter multiple markets, but really need to carefully consider what their first market will be, how that fits in with their ultimate grand vision of what type of company they want to build, problems they want to solve. And there's also optionality around business model. Do you license the fundamental technology? Do you build it yourself? Do you go to market with partners? And more. Many of the CDL Matter companies will rely on partners in order to adopt their technology and pull them through to market at any meaningful scale. Even more so than in some of the other streams, entrepreneurs in the Matter stream need to have a really thorough understanding of the value chain in their selected markets to ensure that they integrate into this chain in a way that not only enables them to capture value as opposed to a race to the bottom on unit economics, but build a business that's exciting for them and attractive to their investors. When it comes to global impact and ability to move the needle on big issues like climate change, food security, polluted environments, and more, software can really only take us so far. While historically entrepreneurial ventures in these categories may not have raised big VC rounds, have eye-popping, billion-dollar valuations on a fairly regular basis, or public market acceptance for pre-revenue companies, like we see in the biotech sector, where there is that reward for early risk. There is definitely a change afoot, and I think this change is largely being driven by two factors. First is the ability to leverage advances in computing. This allows scientists and entrepreneurs to model their scale up in silico before investing in expensive capital equipment. This helps drive costs down, shorten iteration cycles, and de-risk the business before really significant investment is required. This also helps, as we heard earlier, with searching for a needle in a haystack, as many of our material science ventures, Matter stream ventures, are doing. And the second is really mainstream recognition that when companies can meaningfully solve big, urgent global problems, there is a substantial economic opportunity that goes alongside that. And in the last 12 to 18 months, we've really seen strong public market interest in these early stage material science-based companies that are tackling these challenges, and that is driving new investor interest into the sector. Though if it were easy, everybody would be doing it, and this year's cohort of CDL Matter companies are emerging leaders in energy storage, plastics recycling, circular economy, decarbonization, and more. I'm really excited and thrilled for the wider CDL community to have the opportunity to meet with these exceptional entrepreneurs and help them rise to the challenges ahead.